Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to Balanced, where we weekly talk about the importance of balancing our bodies, minds, spirits, and community. My name is John, and today my guest is Counselor Christie Byrne. Welcome to Balanced. Well, good afternoon, viewers. We welcome you back to our Balanced episodes, and we're excited because today we get to start a new series. We just wrapped up a series last week about family balance, and so today we're starting a series that we're calling Emotional Balance, and we will have 4 episodes just like we do in every series. And our first episode is always about our body. So today we're focusing on sleep and emotional balance, and today we get the honor and opportunity to get to know one of our new staff members at Samaritan. So I want to welcome in Christie Byrne to the conversation. Thanks, Christie.
Well, thank you, John, for inviting me.
This is going to be cool. And so before we jump into our topic, as you and I were just talking briefly before we got on and started recording, you're probably a new face to a lot of people watching this episode today. So let's take just a quick moment to let them get to know you a little bit. Like you were sharing with me earlier, you just moved to Sarasota pretty recently, right?
A couple of years ago, it'll be it's been a year and a half since I moved here, and really enjoying Sarasota. I moved from Texas, and most of my counseling experience has been with Samaritan Counseling Centers in Texas.
Oh, that's awesome. And
but I'm a licensed mental health counselor here in Florida now.
Awesome. And you were just telling me how telehealth has just opened up your world and opened up the world for clients as well. That's awesome.
Yes. I wasn't that comfortable at one time with video therapy, but I'm becoming more comfortable and can appreciate the aspects of it that are available, especially during COVID.
Right. Oh, yeah. So much need. Mm-hmm. And it's a great asset that we have now to utilize. What is it about counseling that you enjoy?
Oh, meeting people, hearing their stories, it's an honor, I think, to be a part of their journey. And in Texas, I have been in therapy for almost 30 years. And so I had a longevity with some clients, and to witness their journey and be a part of it and the support, it's very rewarding.
That's great. Well, we're glad to have you on our team. Glad God brought you to our area. And now people get to meet you and we get to have a discussion about sleep of all things.
Well, sleep is very important to me. It always has been.
Well, good. Then you're a great person to talk about this. Viewers, we often hear, we probably joke about how that if I didn't get enough sleep, we sort of give ourselves an excuse. I can be cranky today, whatever kind of thing. And so we all acknowledge that sleep is important and can impact how we respond throughout the day. So, Christie, I'll let you start there our sleeping patterns, they do impact our moods. Can you tell us, what you think about that, how you've seen that play out?
Well, a good night's sleep helps foster both mental and emotional resilience, while chronic sleep deprivation sets the stage for negative thinking and emotional vulnerability. Sleep is as important to our health as eating, drinking, breathing. It is a necessity. It allows our bodies to repair and our brains to consolidate our memories and process information. So for a balanced life, a good night's sleep is just as important as regular exercise and a healthy diet.
When you say good night's sleep, some people may think, well, that means X number of hours or certain particular hours of the evening. Can you define what you think good night's sleep means?
Well, studies report that 7 to 8 hours a night is a good night's sleep, and that's uninterrupted sleep. Right. If you do awaken and you can go right back to sleep, that is helpful, but a lot of times we wake up and then we can't get back to sleep.
Right.
And those poor sleep patterns are linked to physical problems such as a weakened immune system and mental health problems such as anxiety and depression. So sleep is important for our emotional regulation. Poor sleep patterns can cause moodiness, like what you were suggesting, memory troubles and problems thinking and focusing. Chronic sleep loss may lead to weight gain and high blood pressure. So our sleep patterns affect us physically, mentally, and emotionally. In fact, 400 years ago, William Shakespeare wrote in his play on Henry IV, he described sleep as, "O sleep, O gentle sleep, nature's soft nurse." So that description as nature's soft nurse speaks to the nurturing aspect of sleep for our physical, cognitive, and emotional well-being.
Yeah, that's awesome. That brings a whole different imagery of what happens while we're sleeping, right?
Yes.
So when you mentioned, anxiety and those kinds of challenges that
Mhm.
impact our sleeping, then in the last 12 months, I'm sure people's sleep patterns have gotten off at some point, right? Because
Yeah.
their kids are home doing work, doing school, or they're having to work from home, and so it seems
Mhm.
that we can allow things in life to influence our sleep patterns. Is that right?
Mhm. Yes. Think about all the factors that can interfere with a good night's sleep. It can be work stress, it can be family responsibilities, hormonal imbalances, to unexpected challenges like a pandemic,
Yeah.
and financial stresses. And even when, during the year, our time changes in the fall and in the spring, and it takes 5 to 7 days to adjust to that change. So that fear of uncertainty can sabotage our rest.
So when surely we've all recognized this at some point, in the last 12 months, my sleep is off or I'm cranky
Mhm.
or, I'm out of sync. So
Mhm.
what are some suggestions that you have? I know I have things that have worked for me to improve mine, but
Mhm.
let's talk about some things for people to grab a hold of that can help us sleep better.
Well, you may not have control over those factors that I mentioned before that interfere with your sleep, but you can adopt certain habits that encourage better sleep. And so consider your daily routines, what you eat, what you drink, the medications you take, how you schedule your days, and how you choose to spend your evenings can significantly impact your quality of sleep. So just by making a few adjustments can in some cases mean the difference between sound sleep and a restless night.
Hmm.
Um, it's valuable to your cognitive, physical, and emotional well-being to establish a series of healthy sleep habits that can improve your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. So to develop balance in your life, keep a consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time every day. Even it's suggested even on the weekends and on vacations. And establish a relaxing bedtime routine. Do the same thing every night before bed, like take a warm bath, read, or listen to music. Your pre-sleep activity should be relaxing so that your body knows you're sending that signal to your body when it's time to go to sleep. It's time to rest. Um, Make your bedroom quiet and relaxing. Keep the room at comfortable, cool temperature. Kind of lower the air
Yeah.
conditioning a little bit.
Yeah.
Limit your exposure to bright light in the evenings. Turn on, this is the hard one, I think, for our culture. Turn off electronic devices at least 30 minutes to an hour before bedtime.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have trouble doing that.
Mhm.
I even hear that from parents, their teenagers are on the phone or
Right.
doing email or texting uh, late into the night. And so they're not getting the rest they need. It would be wise not to eat a large meal before bedtime. Meals just before bedtime may make it difficult to fall asleep because your body's still working.
Mhm.
A small snack just before bed tends to promote sleep, but make it a light snack. Exercise exercise is important all across the board. It helps you physically, it helps you mentally, and it helps you emotionally, and it helps you sleep. So make sure you can exercise during the day, not 2 hours before sleep. You don't want to exercise and then go to sleep because your body's already worked up. So you want it to be a calming time before you go to sleep. There's also some suggestions about what we drink. You want to avoid consuming caffeine in the late afternoon and evening because caffeine and also nicotine are stimulants. So those interfere with sleep. Regular users may experience withdrawal symptoms at night, leading them to have a restless sleep. See, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Right.
So you want to limit your caffeine intake, and tobacco users who break the habit usually are able to fall asleep faster and sleep better once their withdrawal symptoms change. Also, alcohol before bedtime. Alcohol is a sedative, so it may help you go to sleep, but it can interfere with sleep during the night, causing you to wake up frequently and have nightmares. And alcohol depresses your system so that when you wake the next morning, you're not going to feel refreshed or energetic. You're going to still have that depressed feeling.
Yeah.
So it's best to not drink alcohol 46 hours before bedtime. Also, keep naps short. Now, I'm someone who likes a nap. I have, even when I was young, I like a nap in the afternoon. But it suggests that, you're working off your sleep debt at that time. So you want it to be short, no longer than 30 minutes. And so it won't interfere with your sleep at night.
Right.
If you do fall asleep, if you can't fall asleep after 20 minutes, then there's the suggestion to just get out of bed. And what I have suggested to clients when I found for myself, if you're worrying about something, again, it's that fear of uncertainty, you're not at the future, just write it down, start journaling. You can even keep a dream journal if your dreams are waking you up. Write them down and just keep a record. It just helps to get those thoughts out of your mind and put it down on paper. It stops that worry cycle if you can just write it down. Stress management is a way, getting organized, setting priorities, delegating tasks. Meditation can even help ease anxiety. So a lot of times what's keeping us awake at night is trying to control the future. And we don't have control over the future. We have to come back to the present. So meditation, exercises that can help with your breathing, slowing down your breathing. See, that contributes to the whole process of sleep is slowing down. It's letting go. It's giving up that control. And that may be what we have so much difficulty doing. You have any questions about any of those things?
Well, that's a lengthy list and all really helpful stuff. I can tell from experience, as you mentioned, like the temperature in the room. I have figured out that if it's too warm, I'm going to wake up during the middle of the night, and I need to start with a lower temperature when I go to bed. So that's as simple as that is. When you mention, electronics, of course, that's probably one of the bigger things for everybody. I've heard a really great suggestion that some people seem to have not thought about, and that's to not even have a TV in your room.
That's for sure.
Which might be hard for some people.
Yes,
if they're in that habit of, watching X show, whatever it is that they're used to. Well, I'm going to go to my bedroom at 9, but I'll go to sleep till 11. So those kind of habits, they're hard to break.
They are hard. Oh, none of this is easy. Making change is hard, John. It's hard for me. I'd like to say that when I make a decision to make a change, it's done just like that, but that is not true. We fall back into these old patterns. And, watching TV in bed, it helps you focus, on something else. You're not worrying. That monkey mind of thoughts isn't going through your mind. But you probably will fall asleep, but you'll wake up and the TV is still on. And so then you can't go back to sleep. So what we're talking about is how to go to sleep and sleep uninterrupted so that you get the rest that you need.
Yeah.
Well, there are studies that talk about the impact of sleep on symptoms of depression and anxiety.
Mm.
And so there, we need to consider that. Even studies have been done that when people change their sleeping habits and they have been experiencing depression, their depression lessens after they have changed their sleeping habits.
Yeah.
They're more susceptible to the treatment for depression even.
Mm.
So it's important to take that into context. All these sleep habits that I mentioned are ways of nurturing ourselves, just like what Shakespeare described, nature's soft nurse. Sleep is restorative. Sleep brings balance to our lives, balancing activity with rest. And so God created rest to be as natural as breathing. It's life-giving. We sleep so that we can awaken with new hope and new strength. There's a prayer in the Book of Common Prayer, and it starts out, "Keep watch, dear Lord, with those who work or watch or weep this night, and give your angels charge over those who sleep." And I like that image. And I think if we can turn that need for control over at night and have that image of angels taking charge of us during sleep, it helps relax us so that we can receive that gift of sleep.
That's very comforting. Another good image, a nurse and an angel.
I like
Can it get any better than that? Yeah. Well, viewers, we hope this has been helpful to you to get us started in this emotional balance series. Thank you, Christie, for giving us these excellent, things to think about and options to consider for ourselves. And again, if you're just getting to know Christie today, she's a great illustration of our staff and who we have to help you walk through anything. If you're dealing with stuff like she's talking about, maybe you're dealing with some depression or anxiety, and you're hearing, wow, here's some things I haven't thought about, then reach out to us and find someone on our staff who could walk with you and help your emotional balance, help you just find balance, period, in your life. Christie, thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you, John.
Viewers, we'll be back next week. And we'll have our next episode in this emotional balance series. And next week, I don't know, this probably relates. We're going to be talking about self-talk. So if you can't sleep because of the self-talk going on in your head, we're going to be talking about that next week with another one of our counselors. So join us in next Wednesday at noon. Have a great afternoon.